Hello, hello. Happy Tuesday, wherever in the world Ted is. It is Tuesday, June 30th, 2026. That means tomorrow, reminder for everyone, July 1, we will need all of your help to have as many unique commenters in the Rumble chat. Rumble. So if you're watching on YouTube or whatever, hop over to Rumble, drop us a poop emoji or say poop, say hello. We need as many unique commenters as possible as part of the new metrics required by Rumble to stay an official Rumble content creator. So we'll need your help starting tomorrow. So that's the first bit of housekeeping. I'm Manila Chan. That's Ted Rall. You are tuned in to the Ted Manila Information Show, TMI Show for short, because we do bring you a lot of information, including like a lot of poop talk. I have a poop conversation for tomorrow planned already.
Oh, God. Okay. God help us all.
And we do it live Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern time. Robbie says we have an ad to do. Robbie, do you want to do it, or do you want to?
I just do it. It's easier than instead of just copy and pasting the script.
Okay, go for it.
Makes life easier. Just one moment here, boys and girls.
We try to make everyone's lives easier.
We do.
Right? That's the goal of this show.
What, you mean all like 8 billion people of Earth?
No, just the people who watch the show who actively comment. That's the rest of y'all. I'll treat y'all like migrants, deport you all. We hear a lot about
the gators.
Yeah, for sure. We hear a lot about.
By the way, alligator Alcatraz is closed. Just saying.
I know.
Yeah. We hear a lot about crypto, but here's the part most people miss. Crypto is created so you can actually own and control your money. After the 2008 financial crisis, Bitcoin was designed as an alternative to banks. So instead of a bank holding your money, delaying transfers, or limiting access, you're in control. If you've ever had to wait for a transfer to clear, you felt that problem. Now, fast forward to today. Everybody's heard of crypto, but getting started still feels complicated. That's exactly why I use Rumble Wallet. By the way, I really do. It takes all that complexity and makes it simple. Choose what you want: Bitcoin, dollar-backed stablecoin, or even digital gold backed by real gold. No complicated sign-up. It connects with MoonPay, so use your credit card or debit card or your bank and be set up and running in minutes. Once you're set up, you can even support your favorite Rumble creators like us directly. So do this now. Scan the QR code or click the link from the description and download Rumble Wallet. From there, you can set up your wallet, tap buy, and you're in the game. In just a few minutes, you can go from hearing about crypto to actually owning some.
All right.
There we go.
You're getting better at these reads, Robbie.
Well, I've had practice. I've asked for cartoons to be put there instead of just words. That's easier for a redneck like me.
Well, Ted. So Ted, because I see Ted traveling,
or hieroglyphs.
Yeah, whatever.
There's a slight, not buzzing sound, but like it sounds like a windy day in a microphone. That's coming from Ted. So when I press mute, see how quiet that is?
Yeah.
That's Ted.
It's probably his air conditioner.
He doesn't have his normal setup. No, it's probably the headset. But so Ted, keep that in mind. I might mute you if the noise gets a little too loud. You guys let us know.
It'll be like being married again.
That's right. But the wives, believe me, we wish we had the remote to like mute the husband.
When I was married and I got my first, well, it wasn't my first, but I got a job on talk radio, and F9 was the mute button at KFI AM 640. I used to sometimes be fighting with my wife, and I'd suddenly find myself looking for the F9 button.
Oh my God. I like to tell my husband that I don't particularly care to talk unless I'm paid for it.
I just said that to someone yesterday where someone had said, "Oh, Rall's always been a Nazi," they said on social media. So I just replied, "Fuck." So I just replied, "Fuck you." And someone said, "Wow, that's such a sophisticated retort." And so I said, I'm paid for words. You don't deserve my high quality words.
Yeah, that's right. Same thing. I don't really, I've made a pretty good career for myself, saving my words, whether typing or speaking. So, even in my own personal life, I don't really like talk on the phone much. I save it for like what we do and, on TV, radio, whatever. And then I'm all talked out. So there you are. All right. With that, any more housekeeping to do other than the reminders, Robbie?
That's the big thing, because that's the one metric that we cannot control. I can control how many clips we put up. I can control how often we stream. I can do all that kind of stuff. What I cannot do, I cannot make people chat. So if y'all want the show to continue, chat.
Yeah, we got to stay in the creator
Once a
program
month.
because that's how we get paid. So
Yeah, we don't even get paid nearly enough. But what
No.
little we get paid, we would literally go to zero.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
it's
we
just
go to
it's one unique
nothing.
chatter a month. And that would help both on this show and also on the gaming channels. Just come by, call me a Nazi, come over here, drop a
Yes.
vote. It doesn't matter. Just as long as it's a unique chatter, that's what matters.
Do
Yeah.
they have a swastika emoji?
I can make one.
Okay, so we have breaking news. Supreme Court rulings are starting to come in. The Supreme Court is about to rule on birthright citizenship, probably today, right now, in the next few minutes.
They're not going
And
to know.
they have just
They're not
issued
gonna
another ruling. They have issued a ruling. They're upholding bans on transgender women in female sports. The latest in a string of legal setbacks
Good.
for LGBTQ plus people. So this follows up the Supreme Court ruling in March, banning conversion therapy for gay and trans youths, and said that probably violated the free speech rights of a religious counselor who wanted to counsel young people according to the Bible. So the court ruled with Christian parents in blocking California policies that tell schools it's okay not to tell parents about a student's sexual orientation or gender identity without the student's consent. So basically, this is the latest thing. So yeah, this is a major ruling. It says that it upheld the Idaho and West Virginia bans on transgender athletes playing on girls and women's sports teams. I don't think the controversy kind of applies the other way with trans women, playing on boys or men's sports teams, but
Right. It's like if I miraculously somehow could beat 100-year-old Bruce Jenner, Caitlyn Jenner right now, then I deserve to be there. If I decided to shave my head,
I for one want to watch that.
And I mean,
I would
Caitlyn
pay
Jenner's
money for that.
Caitlyn Jenner's like 80, right?
Yeah.
I'm fairly sure Caitlyn, formerly, the athlete
Bruce.
formerly known as Bruce Jenner, I'm fairly sure a Caitlyn Jenner could still beat a little Manila Chan in an arm wrestling match or anything.
So she's 76.
Close enough. 80. Close to Donald Trump.
Hey.
So
let's not be rounded 76 up to 80.
So it's a he. It's a dude who's cosplaying as a girl. I mean, let's be honest here. It's a guy.
But look,
that is, like, I hate to say it, that's not accurate in this case because she went through all of the, she did the surgery.
Did
and
Bruce,
everything, right?
So did he
top
change
and bottom?
Did he change his
So.
Did he change his chromosomes, Ted?
Well, that I would imagine probably not. But the point is,
it's a guy.
Not like it's
a
not
dude who mutilated
it's not
himself.
Literally, like a person who just says, "I'm going to see." Did she? I mean, she did the boobs, right? She did.
And
let's see. She did facial feminization surgery,
Adam's apple,
which is called FFS. That's a very unfortunate acronym.
FFF.
Yeah, facial feminization surgery. FFS,
that's not what I think of.
It's not what I think of.
Fuck's sake.
And then also, she did do genital confirmation surgery. So, so she did upstairs, downstairs. So I would say once you commit fully like that, no one can say you're not really a girl. I mean,
but the
you've
chromosome,
committed to being a girl more than anyone who was born into it.
I just
you're
did, Ted.
still
You can
still
say
X,
it, but you're wrong.
No,
you're
I'm
still
not.
XY. You're still XY.
Ted. Okay, so you know
you're
what?
you are XY, but you cut off your the most important part of the male anatomy.
Okay,
well, John Wayne Bobbitt was still a dude after Lorena chopped it.
Well, but for like a few hours, he became a girl while he was waiting for his for his penis to be reattached,
to be found first.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how they found it because it was on the side of the road.
She led the police to. She told them where
but I mean, they must have had to look quite a bit because it was like in a rural, like Virginia.
Well, I don't know. Maybe it was so ginormous that it just like stood out from the brush. I don't know.
Like an asparagus.
I don't know. It just stood out like a sore thumb in the brush. I don't know.
God, people in the chat said they figured it out because I do this half the time just to bait you. And Robbie's baiting Ted.
I know that. I enjoy it. You do.
Oh, it's hilarious. I mean, someone in the chat. Let me see if I can see who it is. Yeah, Digital Design and Innovation says, "Shut the fuck up, Robbie." Okay, I'm not married to you. Shut up. Say okay.
No, but I mean, seriously. I mean, look, I'm sympathetic to the argument that if I suddenly just say like, "Oh, guys, from now on, I'm Theodora," and like, well, did you do anything, Ted? No. In fact, I'm going to keep wearing my same shitty t-shirts, and I'm going to have the same hairstyle. I'm keeping my Johnson. Like, I'm going to have the same voice. Everything's going to be exactly the same. I'm not going to wear different clothes. But I'm a girl now. You'd be like, fuck you. That's cosplaying, and that's not even cosplaying because I'm not. There's no cos. It's like, and there are there are trans people who do that. Basically, I'm like, that's bullshit. Yeah. Okay, but like, I mean, this is the opposite of that. She is fully committed to being a chick.
Okay.
But so that reduces
more so than Manila.
No,
Manila was born into it.
That reduces.
This is like a religious
woman down.
convert. If you
that reduces a woman down to just her body parts.
Scott converted to Catholicism. I was born into it. He's more Catholic than me. You know what I mean? He picked it. If you choose it, you're more than
your Catholicism isn't your DNA though. Like, I'm not reduced to being tits and ass and vagina. Like, that's not fair. That's not fair to a woman being reduced to just her body parts. That's not what
what's your point?
Makes a woman. Caitlyn Jenner can't. To Robbie's point, is Caitlyn Jenner is still XY, and Caitlyn Jenner will still, at 80 years old, can still beat my middle-aged ass because Caitlyn Jenner still has.
That may not be true after years of hormones replacement therapy, right? I mean,
Caitlyn Jenner is still like 6'4" and still like 240 pounds. Like, but we shouldn't pick on Caitlyn Jenner because Caitlyn Jenner is
any like born at birth double X chromosome chick who's that big could also beat your ass.
Sure, but the XY can beat that natural 6'4" woman's ass. Like, is my point, because you went through puberty because you had the XY puberty experience. It's very different. They've already done like tons of research and stuff on this. They've done experiments with like super buff chicks, like on I don't know their names because that's not my world, but like super buff chicks that are in like combat sports just cannot keep up with like a low rated combat sports whatever guy, like a I don't know, flyweight whatever. Her ass gets beat every time. They've done this experiment over and over. By the way,
more breaking
with a regular
news.
Guy.
More breaking news. Iran and Oman do plan to collect payments, tolls through the Strait of Hormuz, despite public U.S. objections. I don't understand, guys, the public U.S. position. When the U.S. negotiated a deal that they both announced with Iran, and that deal, the memorandum of understanding, is clear as day. It says that Iran is not to charge tolls for 60 days and thereafter they are allowed to do so. Iran and Oman are now saying they would like to do so, presumably in 60 days, right? Or at this point, 52 days. What's the problem? I mean, this is just the U.S. agreed to this, so why are they fucking reneging now? What are they, Israelis? I mean, they said, okay, like the zero toll regime is only for 2 months.
No, they're in that 60-day window. So if they're negotiating and brokered a better deal with their neighbor Oman,
they did.
Oman, by the way, a beautiful place. They've brokered a better deal. So the U.S., you know what? How many times has the U.S. Done an about face or tricked the Iranians, tricked the Persians, right? Like, oh, we're negotiating with you. And then they go and bomb them. How many times has the U.S. gone and lied to them? So if they do this, like, whatever, they're in their right within the 60-day window. They got a better deal with the Omanis and whatever. And time out on the Caitlyn Jenner thing. I don't want to pick on Caitlyn Jenner because Caitlyn Jenner, to her credit, to be fair, she does recognize that she's biologically a male and she does not support, considering she's a 3, as Bruce was a 3 gold medalist winner, right, in the Olympics, right?
Mm-hmm.
Caitlyn recognizes that Caitlyn is biologically a male and Caitlyn does not support trans men.
That's true.
Or women, men that become, identify as women, competing in girls' sports.
No, she's been very clear. Well, she's kind of conservative, right?
So, yeah.
Ultimately, I think it just comes down to this. I mean, what is a woman? If you can't answer that question, you're denying the existence of more than half of the global population. That's a woman is an adult female that has the potential of being able to bear children, has mammary glands, produce milk. I'm not saying that every woman can have children. Some women are obviously sterile, but it's in their nature to do so.
Or produce.
And what you're doing by saying that some dude, by virtue of a knife, can cut off his dick and then say, I am now what this is, you are denying the existence of more than half of the global human population. And as the father of a daughter, and as a man who's married to a woman, that is disgusting. Talk about a war on women. That's it. And why any feminist does not get on board and say, shut the fuck up, you're a guy.
Reducing us to tits and vagina that anybody can buy and a knife can manipulate. That is what this whole movement is saying women are just
all right,
vagina.
But let me.
That's not it.
Look, I get your point, but what about? But I do. But what about the other? But what about the? Is a woman merely her XY chromosome?
I just defined what a woman is. It's her biology.
I'm talking to Manila right now. So, like,
there's a whole experience as a girl.
In other words,
how life when you grow up.
And ass. I mean, hell, you could be a girl and you could be born with no tits, and you're still XY chromosome. I mean, I think most people, me included, would say, okay, that's the defining characteristic of a woman. That's like if we're not sure, East German swim team, we're not sure what this person is. We're going to give them a DNA test, right? That's what most people do.
The Algerian boxer at the last Olympics.
Most science-based people, that's where we go. If I were on the IOC, that's where I would go, right?
Sure.
So, but okay, so I'm just asking the question.
Are there anomalies? Sure, but you can't.
I'm not talking
make
about.
The exception
I'm not
the rule.
talking about the 1 in 10,000 hermaphrodite or whatever. But I mean, is the XY chromosome, is that enough? I don't know the answer to this question. Is that enough to say, okay, well, you have an XY, you're a chick. That's it.
I just defined it for you, Ted. You are a man of science. I just literally told you it is a yes
or no question. It's a yes or no question.
Yeah, biology matters.
Because
biology is a thing.
By virtue of being born with your XY chromosome, you are more than likely to have grown up probably smaller than the average male, weaker than the average. Being born XX, you're gonna be a little smaller and less strong than your
on
XY, your XY friend at school, right? And then at some it doesn't change until you hit puberty, and that's where the rubber meets the road. And then you're the virtue of having XX chromosome, there are just some things that you're, as a God-given gift, you're somewhat better at, more inclined to do. Like you're more interested in people than things. XY are boys tend to be more interested in things. Girls are more interested in people. There are things that are just imbued to you by nature, whether you consider that the universe, God, Mother Nature, whatever you attribute that to. There are certain things that are imbued into you, imprinted into you by virtue of your chromosomes. And then they're inexplicable, right? Like just inexplicable across the whole world, across cultures, across millennia. We have seen this throughout history. When people are XX, they tend to be a certain way. And when people are XY, they tend to be a certain way. So, I think the experience,
although across millennia,
as
nobody
a woman,
knew about XX and XY, right?
Well, yes, but I'm using this in lieu of using the term man or
Mm-hmm.
woman, because I'm sticking this, because we're all confused now as to what a man is and what a woman is, or what a girl is, what a boy is, what a they. No, and nobody is a they them. No, that's grammatically incorrect. I will never do they them. Sorry, that's grammatically nope. I was an editor, won't do it. That totally, like, that's my line in the sand. I'll call Caitlin a she.
Well, it's
nobody
not
is
always
they.
grammatically incorrect. It just it often is. I mean, like the exception
When you're identifying yourself,
like when you don't know what's, like, for example, someone does something, you don't know who you don't know who did it, right? You say, like,
right. No,
that's they
that's
were
different.
here. Someone they stole my bag. You don't know who they are, right? So
right.
if you don't know what gender someone is, you might say, like,
sure,
like there they go, right? But generally, if you do know, then they is grammatically, it's plural. It's grammatically incorrect.
But when you're identifying yourself as a plural, and you're the one person,
right? That's incorrect. Well,
my brain cannot
I guess
accept
language, obviously,
grammatically.
Here's the thing: language evolves or devolves, and it changes. But the fact is, this was dropped upon us like a dead rat in our lap, and society never processed it, which is why people are still confused. Like, what the fuck? Why? I woke up one morning and found out that I'm a cis, whatever the fuck that is. I'm like, nobody asked my opinion, right? I'm like, no, I don't know what a cis is. I don't know what that even
Ted,
means.
it's like a nickname. If your nickname's Bubba, like our friend Bubba Horwitz, like,
yeah. Well, he embraces
like
his
you
nickname.
You don't pick your nickname. The other kids do.
Oh, I know a guy, like, so I used to work for Bear Stearns. Alan C. Greenberg was the CEO of Bear Stearns. He was definitely a colossal dick. Anyway, he gave himself the nickname Ace and insisted that everyone call him Ace Greenberg.
No, call me Ace. He did this?
Yeah. So he gave himself the nickname.
Yeah, but he's the boss, so he, like, forced you guys.
It's not like Charles Schultz, whose nickname was Sparky, and that was a childhood nickname that, like, other kids gave him.
Oh, that's cute. See, that is a nickname. But anyway, okay, we've gone way off track. We got to plow through these stories that we do have planned.
Yeah, there's a bunch of comments on the Telegram chat that people are asking y'all to address.
All right, let's have them.
All right, so Adrian is sorry to understand. What do you need tomorrow for the TMI metrics? Just basically for people to chat at least once a month. Adrian, is really what we need.
Drop a line in the chat, because that's
what on Rumble
is requiring.
Yeah, on Rumble.
So you literally just say hi, and then that's it.
Just say, or like, fuck off.
If you feel like,
call me a name,
explaining why I have the best hair on the show, you can go ahead and do that.
Yeah, Martina wants you and me, Manila, to get more educated about this the tranny topic, and then to come back.
I have plenty of education on it. And
then Adrian's asked, are there any stats for trans by nationality? Are there more Western trannies in the Anglosphere than in other countries? We all know about Thailand, I guess.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, no, transgenderism is very acculturated. And so, for example, there's hardly any in Japan. Hell, you're hardly allowed to be gay in Japan. So, like, in Japan, if you are gay, you're either closeted or you're living as a straight person. And because it's just basically the homophobia is so rampant.
In
We don't know
Iran, the state will pay for your trans surgery if you're gay, because
right.
Yeah, so if you're a gay man, they will force you to become
a chick,
femaled.
Right, which is very strange. But no, it's for sure. There's massive variations by country. No, it's a cultural. It's the cultural influence is massive.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then
it just goes to show just how much mental illness that there is in the West right now, because that's the symptomatic of it. And it's
you could argue that it's about the pros and cons of liberalism, small L liberalism, right? Like, is it about? It's like people feel free to do whatever the fuck they want, identify the way they want, and they feel like they're not discriminated against. They can feel free to be themselves. Or you could say it's looseness and it's like ridiculous. It's cultural, it's social contagion, or it's both, right? I mean, I don't know.
The worst thing you can ever do is lie to somebody, and telling someone you can be something that you physically can never be is the ultimate kind of lie that you can give someone. Think about what I just said. Women, think about this, and I'll go away because we have a show to do and people are tired of hearing about me talk, which is fine. It is in the nature of a woman to be able to create life. I cannot do what Manila did. They create life. They grow children. They bear children. They feed children. They nurture children. If you're a man and you cut off your dick, you can never do that. And to imply that you can
totally nurture children.
Think about what I just said.
He meant
it is not in the nature of man to create life. That is the purview of a woman. And you are stealing that. Not you personally, but I mean this ideology, this new state religion. Like, people tell me as a Christian, hey, Robbie, will you stop shoving your religion down my throat? Meanwhile, I got queer parades going down Main Street with their little tranny flags.
In Montana?
Oh, yeah. It's all over the place.
In Kalispell?
Yeah, it happens. Oh. It's everywhere. It is everywhere.
Well, it's the last day of the month
for Kalispell,
the rainbow.
Man. They're rolling modern style. They also have a very beautiful airport.
No, the airport here is nice.
Oh my God, it's stunning. It's like an Aspen ski lodge. It's amazing.
Wow. Who knew?
It has a fireplace lounge.
Wow. Wait, for everybody and not the first class travelers?
No, for every scoundrel like myself. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Wow, I've got to go visit, man. All right, with that, let's get to the planned stories, because we got a half an hour left. We got
27 minutes, but who's counting? Yeah.
I hope that the birthright citizenship stuff, I hope that the Supreme Court, I know I'm in the minority on this, I hope that they blow it up. It needs to end.
You do realize the massive problems that'll cause, right?
Yeah, immediately. They're not going to do it. They're not going to. The SCOTUS doesn't, even if the 6 conservatives on there
I don't think
wanted to blow up. Yeah, they're not going to blow it up.
It's unconstitutional. They're not going to blow up
14. Yeah, they're not going to be the ones to have.
It's also unconstitutional because of what I was saying on Deprogram. It's like, because it's Trump's executive order, this isn't Congress passing a law. I mean, this is like, literally, you're talking about an amendment to the Constitution that's been interpreted at least twice in major landmark decisions in the 19th century. Nobody's questioned it since then. And like, now a fucking executive order signed by one orange, bastard is going to change it all? Like, no, Congress is going to have to fucking either amend the Constitution or at least pass a law. I mean, at least, right?
Yeah.
Congress has to weigh in.
Congress doesn't pass laws anymore.
Yeah, apparently. Well, nobody.
We don't have a Congress anymore.
Nobody asks them to. I mean, Mike Johnson basically just smokes Trump's Johnson. That's all he does.
We'll keep watching for Wong Kim Ark. That the precedent was set late 1800s. Wong Kim Ark.
You gotta fly. Let's do these.
It is what it is. All right. So first up, how Scotland went. Scotland went from Europe's murder capital to now one of its safest countries. How about that? 20 years ago, Scotland had a reputation few countries wanted. In the early 2000s, people in Scotland were nearly 3 times more likely to be assaulted than Americans, and Glasgow had one of the highest homicide rates in Europe. Knife attacks, gang violence, and retaliatory assaults were so common that many assumed they were simply part of the culture.
Who knew?
To be Scottish is to murder, Ted.
I mean, I had no idea. I I've never been to Scotland, but I assumed it was pleasant,
I just thought they, like they wear the kilts and kill people. Like that's just kilts and kill. Like I thought that was the thing. Apparently not. It's not. Then Scotland tried something radically different. Instead of treating violence solely as a policing problem, officials began treating it like a public health crisis, something that could be prevented rather than merely punished. In 2005, the Scottish Violence Reduction Unit, the SVRU, that sounds very Russian.
It does.
SVRU,
It's totally like we are agents of SVRU. We are here to check your kilt.
There's SVR, and then you add the RU together, and it's because that means Russia usually,
totally,
like in email addresses. But okay, so the SVRU was created, bringing together police, physicians, educators, social workers, psychologists, and community organizers under one strategy. The first step was understanding data. Officials found that much of Scotland's violence wasn't orchestrated by criminal masterminds. It was often impulsive young men. It involved alcohol, knives, poverty, trauma, and a split-second decision that changed lives forever. That shifted the focus from simply arresting offenders. Ted, I'm going to mute you because that wind sound is
Go ahead.
Really getting high. Yeah, see, now it's totally silent. So it, involves these young men, alcohol, knives, poverty, trauma, and just a split-second decision that changed everyone's lives forever. That shifted the focus from simply arresting the offenders to interrupting the conditions that produced violence in the first place. The solutions were remarkably practical. Hospitals introduced what they called navigator programs, where specifically trained staff met victims of assaults in the ER, often at the moment they were most receptive to change. So I guess this is somebody, that would have survived the violent assault or whatever. And I don't know, if you think of like gang related violence, right? The trauma. So if you meet a surviving gang member in the ER, then they're more receptive to change, and connected them with housing, addiction treatment, mental health care, employment assistance, and counseling before they returned to the same circumstances that got them there in the first place. Schools expanded violence prevention education. Healthcare workers, including dentists and trauma surgeons, were trained to recognize signs of abuse and intervene early. Police partnered with youth workers instead of operating separately. Scotland also worked to reduce
Manila,
school exclusion.
We have breaking news on the birthright citizenship front.
Oh.
The Supreme Court has handed a defeat to Donald Trump on birthright citizenship. This is breaking from USA Today. They said Trump cannot change the definition of birthright citizenship with a stroke of a pen. He cannot use an executive order to do so. So what we thought would happen has happened. So that's also there's apparently a ruling on campaign finance law. This apparently seems to be a win for the White House. They agreed with Vice President, the SCOTUS agreed with Vance, the Vice President, that federal limits on how much political parties can spend in coordination with their candidates violates his First Amendment rights. So this is a
unlimited dark money.
Whether the Democratic Party, the Republican Party, or other parties, all political parties and candidates going forward can compete equally under the same rules regarding coordinated expenditures and can structure their fundraising, spending, and political speech on a level playing field as they see fit within the law. Kavanaugh wrote for the majority from the bottom of a liquor bottle. So, yeah.
Beer, Ted. He was into beer and crushing the cans on his head.
So there's now it's all there were some limits on the corruption. Those limits are now gone.
Yes. So It all started back in the day with Citizens United. Yay! So
Mhm.
basically, Citizens United is expanded. Okay, very good. Okay, let's finish this Scotland story because I thought it was really interesting,
It is.
and I'll tell you about the American version. So police partnered with youth workers instead of operating separately. Scotland also worked to reduce school exclusions. I'm not sure what that means, like expulsion. I don't
Yeah.
I don't know if it's
Yeah.
okay. Recognizing that disconnected young people are at higher risk of later violence. The strategy extended beyond individuals. It targeted underlying risk factors such as adverse childhood experiences, substance abuse, unemployment, and neighborhood deprivation, while emphasizing stable families, education, and community support as protective factors. The results were striking. Over roughly a decade, Glasgow's homicide rate fell by 56%.
That's massive.
Scotland's overall homicide rate, so across the country, dropped 38%, and violent crime declined by a third. Homicides have since fallen to their lowest level in modern Scottish records, and Scotland's model has inspired violence SVRUs across England and Wales. The lesson wasn't that Scotland stopped enforcing the law. It was that the country realized prevention could be as powerful as prosecution. I would say it's better than prosecution. I mean, how many times have doctors told us over, the millennia basically is that an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure, right?
True. Very true.
And the same is applicable here. I mean, gee, who'd have thunk, Ted? I don't know, Plato or something. That giving young people hope, having them not join gangs. Hello, growing up in East LA here, giving them a chance, like to see outside their ghetto, outside the barrio, right? Understanding that there's life beyond there, that there's a chance for you to get out and have more in your life, giving them employment, not letting fucking food robots take their jobs, right? Like youth employment, that was a key factor in Glasgow. So there's a lot of like no does, not letting parents abuse their fucking kids. That's a big one because abused children grow up to abuse other people. So those are big no does, and I'm so glad that some police somewhere are employing something that makes sense. Not like here, our police our police stations are they operate differently, Ted. Different than the Scottish. It could be that they wear kilts with their gun holsters, Ted. That's just my theory. I don't know.
Well, there's no pocket, so it's kind of like, where's your gun? Or are you
Is
just
that
happy
your
to
gun,
see
or are you
me?
just happy to see me? I don't
Yeah.
know. But maybe that's why, a lot of these methods that they're using have been like for kids like me that grew up in hoods. We've known for a long time that what it is, it's a crisis of hope, and you can't just punish all of these kids. Like, you can't wait for the crime to happen and then punish them. You can stop it by not only,
You have to reach out to them on their level, find out what's going
that's
on
right.
in their lives, and find
Find
out
out that
what
their
they
parents are
need.
drug addicts and
And
they're beating
also,
them and they're
the devil makes work for idle hands, and you find them better things to do. I mean, in New York, they've had some success with the PAL program, which is a NYPD thing, where it's the Police Athletic League, where they have gyms
oh,
in certain neighborhoods where people can go and, like, play basketball or whatever, and it gives them shit to do. That's like not like out of just loitering on the street. So yeah, I mean, it stands to reason. This goes a lot further than that.
that's great.
And
It's
look, here's the
beautiful.
thing. Here, what I don't understand, we need to move on. I don't understand why something with like where you can reduce homicides by over 50%. Why the fuck is this not being replicated all over the world? I don't
I
know. But
I don't
like,
get it.
why are we not grabbing it here in the U.S.? I don't know. But it just seems like
And
these guys have, like, they have the secret sauce. So let's
yes,
copy it.
top 5 most violent cities in the US, Ted, in no particular order, just the top 5. St. Louis, Baltimore, Detroit, Memphis, and New Orleans.
Well, and none of those come as a surprise to anyone who's been to any of those. But yeah,
those places have murder rates going from anywhere from 40 to 60 per 100,000 versus the national average, which is 5 to 6 murders per 100,000.
We got 15 minutes left and 3 stories, so let's fly.
Baltimore has actually turned it around, believe it or not, Ted.
Okay.
As violent as it still is.
Manila, we got to go. We got 3 more stories. 15
I'm
minutes.
going.
Let's go.
You wanted to keep talking about cutting off dicks. This is what happens.
Well, I'm a guy. It's a topic of great interest to me.
Well, then you should want to keep your penis, your Johnson. Your
I do. I'm not volunteering to cut it off. You know,
right,
that's not going to happen.
All right.
Okay, so this is a gruesome story. What was supposed to be a safe haven for unwanted dogs has become the center of one of California's most disturbing animal cruelty investigations. Humboldt County authorities recovered the remains of 117 dogs from the grounds of Miranda's Rescue Animal Sanctuary, a self-described no-kill shelter in NorCal. Investigators also found 21 dog skulls, hundreds of additional bones, and roughly 600 dog collars during a search of the 50-acre property. Perhaps most troubling, x-rays of 70 of the recovered dogs revealed bullet fragments suggesting that many of them were killed by gunshot. The investigation began after allegations of animal abuse and fraud surfaced earlier this year. The sheriff's office says that the rescue accepted approximately 900 animals since the beginning of 2025, but documented only 116 adoptions, which means that more than 700 animals were unaccounted for. Shannon Miranda, the owner of this place, denies wrongdoing and maintains that the facility is a legit no-kill rescue. He says euthanasia occurred only in rare cases involving terminal illness or dangerous animals, and urged the public not to rush to judgment while the investigation continues. No criminal charges yet. Authorities are working to identify many of the recovered dogs through their microchips and determine exactly what happened on the property. The case has also shaken public confidence in the rescue community. Most shelters and rescue organizations rely on donations, volunteers, and public trust. If proven true, investigators say this would only represent not only a case of alleged animal cruelty, but of course, a major betrayal. This is, I think I'm not alone in saying that, like, people who do things like this, I really wouldn't have a hard time seeing them removed from the face of the earth.
Do we know if Kristi Noem was there in that time? Because she did lose her job. She lost her job.
She's busy.
We know that
she needs something to do.
She needs something to do. Idle hands, as you said. And she herself has owned up to being a dog shooter.
Yeah, and by the way, she had no legal right to kill that dog, right? Like, the dog, it's not like the dog is your neighbor's dog. It comes onto your property, it attacks you or your pet. This is, like, basically, by her own account, the dog was feisty and
bad puppy.
A bad puppy that was hard to train. I mean, I would be hard to train by Kristi Noem too. And she killed it because she was it's like a teacher being like, this little Johnny can't learn algebra. I'm gonna fucking whack him.
He fucking sucks.
Yeah,
Kill this kid.
I'm killing this kid. Yeah, I mean, I mean, I can see. I mean, this is sick. You could see how it could happen where, like, you don't know what the fuck you're doing. You take in all the hundreds of dogs, and you're thinking, well, I can't figure out how to get rid of them. I can't figure out how to adopt them. Oh my God, they're eating so much food. I need to get rid of them. But I mean, I can see how it can happen, but it's inexcusable and obviously horrific and, horrible. So
I don't know even what to say about
fuck these people is all I have to say. But,
yeah, it was just a shocking, gruesome, like,
let's keep going.
It's a lot of dogs. All right, a follow-up to a very important story. I mean, it's more important than
it
sounds on the surface. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. This is like a constitutional thing, Ted.
Yeah.
So a follow-up to the Alaska's Two Dans problem. Someone should make a song about that. Remember the bizarre Alaska Senate race where voters might have to choose between Republican Dan Sullivan and Republican Dan Sullivan? Plot twist, the Alaska Supreme Court has ruled that the second Dan Sullivan can remain on the ballot, overturning the state's earlier decision to remove him. They told him he couldn't run.
Which was a
because his name was Dan
ridiculous decision. Like, you can't run
Yes.
because you have the bad luck to have the same name as the incumbent.
Right. So election officials had argued that the challenger, Dan J. Sullivan, a retired teacher, appeared to be running primarily to confuse voters. That was their contention. I mean, how can you prove that? The court disagreed, saying the state had no legal authority to invent a good faith requirement that doesn't exist in the Constitution or Alaska election law. I think that was the right move.
I mean, like, if he
So-
posted on social media, "Oh, I'd be trolling. Wouldn't it be funny? I'm going to do it," and then did it, I could agree with that. But yeah.
Yeah. But he just, so legally, all of this is correct. The Constitution sets these qualifications for serving in the U.S. Senate. A candidate must be at least 30 years old, a U.S. citizen for at least 9 years, and an inhabitant of the state in which they seek to represent. It says absolutely nothing about an inconveniently common name, like Dan Sullivan, or whether election officials believe your campaign is sincere. So that's basically the whole gist of the story. Ted and I, we both agreed on this. Like not everybody can have a first name like Manila. I mean, like if not a lot of Ted Ralls, but when your name's Dan Sullivan, I mean, you can't kick somebody out for having a good name, shitty name.
It's a problem. It's a problem that's easily solved too, right? I mean, you could say Dan Sullivan of Nome, Alaska, compared to Dan Sullivan of Anchorage, Alaska. You could say
incumbent
Dan Sullivan,
challenger.
born 1963, as opposed to Dan Sullivan, incumbent versus challenger.
The easiest way is incumbent and challenger, because
Mhm.
nobody's going to remember which Dan was born which year. Like, no one's going to remember that. You just say incumbent. That's all. You don't even need to put challenger on the other guy. You just put incumbent next to incumbent.
You know what? In this day and age, I mean, aren't we at the point where we should be able to have photos of the headshots of the candidates on the ballot? I mean,
you would think, yeah, but then for blind voters, you can't braille a photo. So.
Oh, right. Good point.
Yeah, you got to ADA it somehow.
But wait. The blind voters aren't able to use the regular ballot anyway, because they.
No, that's what I'm saying. They have
have Braille.
To have a Braille. That's what I'm saying. They have to have a way
Normal.
to. So a photo won't cut it, is what I'm saying.
Well, but I mean, blind people aren't going to get to have the whole experience anyway. I mean, I don't know. It's like.
But in order for a blind voter to know
they
which
don't
Dan Sullivan,
they don't get to see what the old ladies look like at the precinct either.
So in order for a blind voter to know which Dan Sullivan is which, one of them has to be able to say incumbent, or so they would know. So I think that's the fastest way. But anyway, good on the second Dan Sullivan. I'm happy for him. Robbie says we have an ad. Drop it. You want to do that in there? Put that in there, Robbie. Go for it.
We have no time. We got to do the cats.
We're doing the cats. Robbie's going to read it.
Already
real
had an
fast.
ad.
I'll just do the ad at the very. I'll do the ad at the very end. Let's go do cats.
But I thought we might lose it.
We got to do cats.
If we do, we lose it. Who cares? Cats are more important.
Cats.
Okay. Exactly.
You know, the story is near and dear to me. If you ever looked at your cat and thought you're plotting something, science says you may be right. Researchers estimate that roughly 1/3 of the population of the world, about 2 million people,
billion,
thank you, is infected with Toxoplasma gondii. It's a microscopic parasite that takes up long-term residence in your brain and muscle tissue. That's right, 1 out of 3 human beings on the planet. The parasite is most commonly spread through undercooked meat, contaminated soil or water, and exposure to infected cat poo. Although simply owning a cat isn't considered a major risk if you practice proper hygiene. So, in rodents, this is a very interesting thing. Toxoplasma is famous for manipulating behavior. Infected mice become less afraid of cats. They even become, this is a very bad life choice, attracted to the smell of cat pee. making them more likely to get, eaten by, cats. It's one of nature's creepiest examples of mind control. Humans are more complicated. Scientists have found associations between toxoplasma and subtle changes in cognition, reaction time, and memory. And while some studies have linked the parasite to a higher risk of disorders such as schizophrenia, but the evidence is not conclusive. Association isn't causation. Most infected people never develop symptoms. There's also been some studies that indicated, Manila, that people with toxoplasmosis also become more reckless and fearless and will, for example, run across a busy road even though they don't have the light and risk getting hit by cars and shit like that. So basically, they just become fearless. But for healthy adults, the immune system usually keeps the parasite under control. The big danger is to pregnant ladies, unborn babies, and people with weakened compromised immune systems. In those cases, the infection can cause serious damage to your eyes, brain, and nervous system. There's no cure that eliminates the parasite. The latest push by researchers is to have toxoplasmosis recognized as a neglected tropical disease. This would unlock funding for treatment and public health efforts, but your cat is probably secretly controlling your thoughts. Well, it's controlling you, maybe, sort of, but it might not be your cat.
Ivermectin.
But the point is, toxoplasmosis is massively prevalent. I mean, it's kind of like how everybody who's sexually active has herpes or HPV. Like everyone, like 99%. And like, this is like toxoplasmosis. Like, someone who's got it. It might be you, but someone. And so someone you think like that person acts like weird or they're a bit of a dick, they might have like gotten exposed to cat poo stuff.
How do we test for it? And can ivermectin fix it?
I don't know about the ivermectin, but clearly, clearly it can be tested. I think it's a blood test. But the problem with, what's weird about, remember how there was that scammy, like cute blonde who's now in prison who had like one blood test to test them all?
Elizabeth Holmes, who would talk
Holmes,
like this.
Right? So she would be like, she was onto something. We kind of need a blood test that like tests for everything, but that's not how it works. We think you might have this or that, and so we test for this or that, or maybe there's a battery of this and that are all related, but there's like no test that really says like, hey, let's test for like 500 things or whatever.
Yeah, like you don't know what you don't know, right? So how can you ask a doctor to order you this XYZ test? Because you don't know what you don't know. You don't know that you have something. So
right. So yeah, you don't have the suspicion. You have to. That's the thing, right? Like you have to be. First, there has to be you or your doctor has to sort of suspect, hey, I wonder if maybe I have XYZ disease. Oh, let's test for that. But like if you don't suspect it, right? Like, like if people are like, oh, Ted's just a dick. And then it's like, so nobody suspects, like maybe Ted's not really a dick. Maybe Ted has toxoplasmosis.
Ted kisses up on Clovis way too much. So JDC in the Rumble chat says you can screen with blood serum IIRC. Remember, this is JDC's wheelhouse because he does like animal. I don't know. He's a scientist.
So there is a blood test, yeah.
There is a blood test, and he says it's IIRC. And then Ray says, does this explain crazy cat ladies? And JDC says,
probably.
Ironically or unironically.
Because crazy cat ladies don't just have too many cats. They live in squalid conditions and have cat piss all over the place, right?
But so this explains, unironically, as JDC says, that's what it is. Unironically. Yes, and I'm with Annie in the chat. Anna. No, Ted, that's wrong. 90% of sexually active folks don't have HSV2 herpes.
Incorrect. They do. It's just latent. You just don't have symptoms. That's all.
No. Annie is a medical professional. I think she's some sort of doctor. I forget.
Okay, we can. I'll look. I'm going to fight with her about this.
I'm married now, so I'm probably less sexually active, but enough to get knocked up in my middle age. He and I are unherped,
You don't know that.
undiseased. No, we do.
Okay, so according to
What
the American Sexual Health Association, HSV-1 is an estimated 50 to 80% of sexually active adults have it, often contracted during childhood. And HSV-2, which is genital, is 1 out of 6 sexually active. So HSV, but the point is everybody's got some form of herpes. Everybody.
Yeah, the lip thing is different than the genital thing.
Yeah.
HSV-2 is much lower. So,
but
Robbie,
the point is,
it's
very common. Is my point.
It's gone.
Oh, it's gone. Okay, so with that, see, we have a very smart room of rumblers in there, but the disease does not only come from cats. I think to be fair to cats, it's not just cats.
True, right? But they're a major disease vector.
They're the primary vector.
But you know what? It's like they're so cute. It's worth it.
It's worth losing your marbles to be around cute little fur balls.
I'm cat crazy, literally. All right.
I know.
I miss Fernie.
Get a new cat.
I can't afford the $70 a month rent increase.
Oh! Robbie returned the evil cat that he adopted after.
I did. I considered shooting it.
No,
that's Christy Nome's job. Now you're trying to steal women's work.
Why not? Democrats are stealing everyone else's.
At least she's an American citizen.
A can of worms. All right, that does it for us this Tuesday. We'll be back. Weird News Wednesday, if this wasn't already weird. But that's it. Hasta la vista, folks. See you tomorrow. Thank you.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.